It's Algiers in the mid-20th century. A man sits in a sweltering courtroom on trial for his life after shooting someone on a beach. But listen to the prosecution and you'll notice something strange. The prosecutor barely mentions the victim. Instead, he focuses obsessively on the fact that the defendant drank a cup of coffee and smoked a cigarette at his mother's wake. This is the bizarre premise of The Stranger, the 1942 novel by author Albert Camus, and the story of its notoriously detached protagonist, Meursault. The courtroom transforms into a theater, where the real offense is Meursault's refusal to perform the emotional scripts society expects of him. Meursault is completely, brutally honest, and that honesty exposes how much we rely on manufactured emotional rules to hide from a chaotic world. When Meursault's mother dies, he doesn't weep. He mostly notices the stifling heat of the Algerian sun. The very next day, he goes swimming, starts a romance with a woman named Marie, and takes her to see a comedy at the movies. Camus delivers this through a technique called écriture blanche, or white writing, a neutral literary style that strips away emotional interpretation to report only raw, objective observations. This style perfectly mirrors Meursault's worldview. He finds truth only in physical sensations, the warmth of the water, the taste of a cigarette, the comfort of sleep. Abstract emotions are just artificial constructs. Living purely in the physical world isolates him. Society demands that we perform our grief to prove we have a soul and a moral compass. By existing entirely in his senses, Meursault becomes an outsider. His refusal to pretend challenges the comforting lies people tell themselves to feel significant. This sensory dominance leads directly to the climax of the story. On a glaringly bright beach, Meursault encounters an armed man. The heat is oppressive, heavy, and inescapable. The man draws a knife. The blinding solar glare reflects sharply off metallic blade, striking Meursault right as stinging sweat drops into his eyes. Overwhelmed by the sensory collision of light and heat, Meursault's hand tenses. The trigger gives way. It is a physical reaction to his environment, devoid of any personal hatred or rational motive. But the legal system cannot process that truth. Accepting that a man can die simply because the sun was too bright means admitting the universe is chaotic. The court needs a human motive. During the investigation, the magistrate is fixated on one illogical detail. After the initial shot, why did Meursault pause and then fire 4 more times into the lifeless body? The magistrate aggressively waves a silver crucifix at Meursault. He demands that the prisoner accept God, assign divine meaning to his actions, and beg for forgiveness. Meursault bluntly refuses to lie. He says he does not believe in God. The magistrate recoils in existential horror. The judge's psychological fragility is exposed. If Meursault's indifferent worldview is accurate, the magistrate's entire life, his faith, and his authority are completely meaningless. To protect their manufactured reality, society has to label him a monster. The magistrate actually brands him Monsieur Antichrist. Waiting for his execution in a dark, claustrophobic prison cell, Meursault is visited by a prison chaplain. The priest tries one last time to save his soul, but Meursault firmly rejects him. The endless pressure finally breaks him. Meursault explodes in rage at the chaplain, rejecting any comforting illusions of an afterlife. Because everyone is already condemned to the same end, no single life is more significant than another. In this vacuum, all human pursuits are equal. Every man is equally free. This friction between our search for order and the silent universe is the core of absurdism. Meursault inhabits this truth, refusing to turn away even as he faces the guillotine. Alone in his cell, he looks up at the night sky. He opens his heart to the vast indifference of the universe, finding absolute peace. Camus leaves us with a profound question. How much of our grief, our human milestones, our daily rituals, are just an elaborate performance to hide from the silent, beautiful emptiness of the cosmos?